Good day. Today we're gonna talk about dynamic array and how I have used it in my game. Dynamic array is an array. Its size is increasing by pushing back more items in this array and decrease by pop back these items from array. The same as what we are seeing here. So if we have a dynamic array, when we pushing back one item, it start to get into the end of this array. So if we like fruit dot pushback banana, banana is the end of this array, and obviously it's the first item as well. The second one here, fruit dot pushback apple. So apple is coming at the end of the array, and by adding more items, it's coming to the end of the arrays, and we can go and take off one of the items by pop back from that array. So if we put fruit dot pop back mango, it will go from here to there. So let us have a look at my game and how I have used dynamic array. So that is how my game look like. As you have seen, I have a lot of bricks in the top of the screen, and I have a player and I have a ball. Let's look at my game code. So at the beginning of the game, it just start with one ball. So I have actually in here, I have in the game. The game is including vector for balls and vector for bricks. Because why add a vector of balls although I have only one ball? Because sometimes when the ball hit a brick, it brings down a power thing, and if the player takes this power, it could one of the powers is to add more balls to the game, and that's why I have a vector of balls, so I can check which ball in that game has even hit the brick or hit the wall or go off the screen. So now if I go to the ball here, when we add a new ball, it needs kind of information like here. Any ball has X, Y, angle, and speed. So when we start a new ball, it will have an X, Y, angle, and speed, and it's getting its X where it's getting its X at the beginning. That is the initial X it will have. If we look at the player, obviously it's about the bottom of the screen as a game. So this point here is X, Y, because that is the player X and the player Y. So we need the ball about here. So what I have done, I have add the player.x, which is up to here, and then add half of that shape. So the bitmap, half of it. So it's start the drawing from obviously half of there. So if I done that, the ball will be about from here to there, but we need the ball in the middle. So I just deduct half of the ball shape. So it will become like about here. For the Y, the player Y is from the top of the screen up to here. Is that right? And then I just deduct the ball shape height, the ball image height. So it becomes just over the shape of the player. So if we look back at the code here, so the X is the player.x plus half of this player bitmap width, and then I minus the half of the width for the ball image, bitmap. And the Y, I just get the y of the player, which is from the top of the screen up to here, and then I minus the height of the ball. So it takes the x from there and y from there, and then because I want the ball when it starts, it starts at in a random angle. So I put a random angle between 20 and 160. So it just either from 20, like if it's gonna start from here, so from 20 angle and up to 160 angle. Any angle in between, it may start with. Now if we go back to the code, that is when the ball starts. Now we're gonna talk about when the ball is hitting the bricks at the top. So in the update balls, we are looping through the whole vector of balls, and we check if any of the balls are hitting the bricks. Let's start first looking at when the player, this shape, is hitting the ball. So it's looping through the whole vector. So I equal 0, I smaller than data.balls.size, and I plus plus. So it's looping through the whole vector one by one. And now it will gonna check if the player hit the ball. How it knows that the ball hit the player? It's go to another one here, which see if any collision between the player bitmap and the ball bitmap, and it will return yes if there is any collision, and it will return false if no collision between them. So when we start the first ball, it will go here. Did the player hit this ball? Yes. Okay. It will go in the if statements, and it will check where the kind of point. That is another one which I have done in the top to check where exactly in the player the ball has hit. So it show which angle it can reflect. So if it's at the beginning, it will reflect in a specific angle. If it's at the end of the player, it will go to another angle. And obviously also it's play a ball sound effect. Now for each of these balls as well, I'm going to loop through the whole bricks in the top to check if this specific ball has hit any of these bricks. So when it's looping through the bricks, it will check also if the ball hits a brick by the same method as what we have done with the player hits the ball. It will check if there is any collision between the ball bitmap and the brick bitmap. And if this happened, I have created a vector here to take any bricks that need to be removed. I make a vector of them. So the first thing it will add, as you can see, it will push back this brick into the end of the vector of bricks to remove. And it will make some sound and increase the score. And I add this statement in order, as you can see in the game, like let's start the game. If sometimes when it hits the brakes, it will get a kind of power thing, like this one, the red one, which is coming. And if the player take it, it will change the player to, it will give some power, some kind of power to the player. So that is where it is happening. And this is for reflecting the ball back by specific angle again. Okay, so now we have pushed this break into the vector of breaks to be removed. Now in here, after this loop has finished, and now the vector has been full with all the breaks to be removed, it will come here and it will loop through the whole vector of bricks to be removed. Okay, but now this time is from the end of this vector to the beginning. So it's going from the end of the vector, is going to check. Sorry, it will go and take the bricks data into the remove brick, brick one here. So it will take the whole vector and the index of this specific brick to be removed, and it will put it to the end of this brick vector, and then it's gonna put back, which means like if we have looked like here, if we have a mango and we need like mango somewhere here, it's just put it to the end of this vector and then do the pop back. So it's gonna go like this one is gonna remove it. What else? I think the same kind of thing is happening also with the ball itself. So when the ball is getting off the screen, that is when also we have another vector here, balls to be removed. So once the ball hits the bottom of the screen and just crossing it, it takes the index of this ball. So if the balls, so if the ball is off screen, it will take this index of the ball and put it to balls to be removed vector. And here it goes through the whole vectors of balls to be removed and cross it over to remove ball. Take the whole vector and the index of this specific ball and put to the end of this index and put back. So it takes these balls off the vector of the balls. I hope you enjoyed it, and please look at my game and give me some feedback so I can like improve it. Thanks so much for listening and have a very great day. Bye.